thank you to Jim and Cindy and for another great audit, clean audit. So thank you very much for your hard work and all that. And then I wanted to point out at our last meeting, we didn't recognize your re-election, Mr. McIntosh. So I want to say congratulations and thank you for the great work you do for the township. I mean, you put so much energy and effort into what you do here. I think we're so lucky to have you. You're super smart, talented, and I think you're just what Concord needs. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yep,
we had a great tree lighting event last Friday, thanks to Mountain Creek Farms for the tree donation again, as well as help from Rec, Fire, and the Service Department. Also to Dan Maxon and his wife for their continued volunteering in our community. It was also great to have Jim Rowe on hand to light up the tree and Nick Randini for his music. So great event. Thanks, Sean. Today we had a tour of our new Service Department storage building, which looks great. It's great to have our equipment protected and inside rather than outside where things don't maybe last as long. So great job. Looks great. We received an email thanking our EMS staff on some great work they did last weekend helping a young man survive a life-threatening situation. We can't stress enough the importance of a great EMS team, and the training and all the resources that go into it certainly make a difference. And you know, it certainly takes a lot of great resources and staff to be able to continue to support our community, and which with our recent levy failure, it's imperative that we find a way to maintain that level of service. The community is accustomed to that. I think they deserve that, and so we have a lot of work to do to see that support carried through. We have gotten calls on what our next steps are with the levy and failing, so we are working on that, and we appreciate all the support we've gotten and the questions we've gotten from our constituents. And not just with fire, but also with law enforcement. So our job is to keep our community safe and protect those who protect us. We do have the Wreaths Across America event on December 16th, so we look forward to that. Aside from that, that concludes my report. I wish everyone a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. Yeah, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I did attend the Christmas tree lighting event last Friday. It was very nice. The weather was a little bit warmer. It was a great turnout, so thanks for the rec department's work on that. Jim Rowe, our Citizen of the Year, turned the lights on to help us enter the Christmas season. It was a great event. A lot of people turned out, so it was great. We had our staff meeting, covered some events that are going on at the different departments within Concord. Everybody's doing a great job, and we got updated. We did tour the new Service Department storage building that just came into existence and opened up, and it's keeping all our equipment top notch. Instead of being outside in the inclement weather, it's inside, and it's a great building next to the new fire department. I would like to thank the Service Department for the great job that they did during our first snow event of the year. They did a tremendous job, good workforce, so we appreciate them being out there and taking care of business. I did have a couple calls since the last meeting in regards to our safety services and our law enforcement officers, as well as our firefighters. A lot of great feedback from residents on the questions that they had, so I appreciate that feedback. We are going to move forward and hopefully engage the community more and address the needs and do what we need to sustain the level of safety services that we're accustomed to in here in Concord Township. It's very important. Had another contact. We received some correspondence to trustees regarding a traffic concern near a new residential development that I'm going to work on here in the next week or so. And other than that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. Well, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I want to thank Jim and Cindy and the staff here at Town Hall for the great job of the audit. I'm very thankful for the fact that after nearly 2 years, we recently opened our brand new fire station across the street. We had an opening event a few weeks ago right after our last meeting, and it was really well attended. We got to have the wet down ceremony, and Chief Sabo explained the importance of that. And it was a very tough project with the challenges that came after supply chain and all that. So as I said when we opened the building, it looks like a lot, but when you put the safety and the training features in, it's about keeping our EMS and firefighters safe and about giving them the tools they need to do the job properly. This is the modern fire service. It's not overbuilt. It's just what we need. 'Tis the season for colds and infections, and I really am regretting that I wasn't able to make the Christmas tree lighting on Friday, listening to you guys talk about it. I always look forward to that, and definitely was sitting home thinking about everybody, and hope everyone has a great Christmas season, and it sounds like it was a great event. The service department garage is fantastic. I know that we're all happy that we get to store our equipment indoors now. And once again, we had a snow event, and I didn't have any calls from residents complaining. And the service department always does a fantastic job, so we want to thank them. Just before the Thanksgiving holiday, I took some time to participate in a ride-along with the Lake County Sheriff's Department. Back in college many years ago, I spent a lot of time in a police car as a reserve and explorer and summer jobs, and so it wasn't a new experience to me, but I had never done that around here, and I wanted to finally get a chance to see how it's done in Concord and how Lake County handles it. I was blown away, very impressed with the young, very energetic officers that we have, very professional. The start of the shift was kind of quiet, but that didn't last. I ended up riding for a total of 6 hours, which is half of a shift. They run 12s. I caught the tail end of one and the start of another. Happened to hit some peak times, and it was busy. In fact, it was so busy there was a point where the car I was riding in, which was assigned to Concord, was the only car available for calls. And it was interesting to listen to the call flow, to listen to the officers move around. I know that during the levy, a lot of people said, well, we don't see them. And Carl, you and I took a lot of calls and said, hey, they're there. I know, reviewing the report that we're going to hear a little bit today, once again, we're over 1,000 incidents a month. And when this board was together, I know that number wasn't at 1,000. It was like 800, 900, 700. So it's growing. Not to scare residents, but there were 6 arrests. 2 of those were felonies. There was assault, drug investigation. So Concord is a safe place, but if we end up having to take away law enforcement or deal with cuts, this is the kind of stuff that might not get the attention that we would like to see. To piggyback off Mrs. Lucci's comments about keeping our community safe and the great job that not only the law enforcement does, but the fire department in saving people's lives. These are important issues we're taking up going into 24 with our budget. Since then, I've spoke with several residents that were very disheartened and upset that it's passed, and even some have come forward asking what they can do to help, so that's encouraging. I've also engaged on social media with some people that had questions or didn't understand things, and I'm correcting some thinking that, the new construction in Concord doesn't grow our budgets. They stay the same. When new houses get built, taxpayers' share of those collections go down. And I know a lot of people were asking why it was so much, why did we need so much? Well, the budget hadn't increased in 8 years, and just for example, hiring the additional deputies that we agreed to hire in our contract, that project coming to fruition was to see a 60% increase in cost to the sheriff's patrol. Just that one part of the safety service budget, not to mention that the fire department hasn't had new money in 8 years, the contract hasn't, and we're not immune in Concord from inflation. We're feeling it just as much everyone else is. So we'll continue to be engaged on this topic. We're going to be out there talking with people and getting in front of this issue, and there'll be more to come. So we ask the residents, please stay tuned. And with that, concludes my report.
Thanks.
Next report, Department Administrator Rose.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh, members of the board, Mr. Technit, members of the audience, good evening. I'll just start with